Have you ever imagined a world where you receive a guaranteed income, regardless of your work status? Picture this: money flowing into your account, periodically and unconditionally, not tied to a job, not limited by your hours worked or your performance. It's a sum given to all individuals with no strings attached, an income that's universal, basic, and most importantly, an income that's yours. This is not a fantasy, but a policy proposal known as Universal Basic Income. How does society get to the point of implementing UBI? Let's take a walk down the road to Universal Basic Income. It's a journey that begins with economic inequality. As the wealth gap widens, more and more people find it hard to make ends meet, sparking discussions about UBI as a potential solution. Next, we step into the realm of automation. Robots and AI are changing the job landscape, making some roles obsolete. This could lead to large-scale job loss, further fueling the need for a safety net like UBI. Then, there's the need for social welfare reform. Traditional welfare systems can be bureaucratic, inefficient, and stigmatizing. UBI, with its simplicity and universality, could be a fresh approach to social support. Each of these factors is a stepping stone on the path to UBI. The road to UBI is paved with complex challenges and big questions. But these are questions we must dare to ask if we are to find a way forward. So, how would UBI work in practice? Well, let's dive into that. At its core, Universal Basic Income, or UBI, is a model where every citizen receives a set amount of money on a regular basis, regardless of their employment status or income level. The idea is to provide a financial safety net, ensuring everyone has access to a basic standard of living. So, where does this money come from? There are a variety of proposed methods. Some suggest it could be funded by reallocating resources from existing welfare programs, essentially streamlining the social safety net. Others propose the introduction of new taxes, such as a carbon tax or a financial transaction tax. A wealth tax on the ultra-rich has also been floated around as a possible funding source. Now, how much would each person receive? The amount can vary significantly depending on the specific model of UBI. Some proposals suggest a relatively low amount, just enough to cover basic necessities like food and housing. Others recommend a higher amount, aiming to provide a comfortable living standard. The distribution of UBI also differs among models. While some suggest an equal amount to everyone, others propose a sliding scale based on income, where those with less income receive more, and vice versa. However, the most common model proposes an equal amount to all, with the belief that this simplicity leads to fewer bureaucratic hurdles and greater fairness. It's important to note that UBI models aren't one-size-fits-all. Different countries and communities may choose different approaches based on their unique economic and social contexts. For example, a resource-rich country might fund UBI through resource dividends, while a country with a large wealth gap might opt for a wealth tax. In summary, the mechanics of UBI involve determining the source of funding, deciding on the amount to be distributed, and figuring out the method of distribution. All these factors are interrelated and must be thoughtfully considered to create a sustainable and effective UBI system. While the mechanics of UBI can vary, the ultimate goal remains the same: to provide a basic income to all. What are the potential benefits and drawbacks of UBI? Let's dive into the world of Universal Basic Income, or UBI, and explore its potential pros and cons. On the positive side, one of the most compelling benefits is poverty reduction. With UBI, every citizen would be guaranteed a certain income, ensuring a basic standard of living. This could be a game changer for those living below the poverty line or struggling to make ends meet. Next, UBI could increase bargaining power for workers. With a safety net in place, workers would not be forced to accept low-paying jobs or poor working conditions out of desperation. They could afford to wait for better opportunities or negotiate for higher wages and better conditions. Finally, let's consider how UBI could foster entrepreneurship. With a guaranteed income, individuals may be more willing to take the risk of starting a new business or pursuing innovative ideas. This could lead to an increase in small businesses and startups, driving economic growth and job creation. But like every coin has two sides, UBI has its potential drawbacks. First, there's the cost. Implementing UBI would require a significant amount of funding. This could potentially lead to higher taxes or cuts to other public services, which could be unpopular or even detrimental. Another concern is the potential disincentive to work. If people are receiving a guaranteed income, they might choose not to work at all. This could lead to a decrease in productivity and economic growth. Lastly, there's the potential for inflation. If everyone has more money to spend, prices might go up. This could make goods and services more expensive, potentially negating the benefits of the increased income. Like any policy proposal, UBI has its potential benefits and drawbacks, which makes the debate around it so vibrant. Remember, the goal here isn't to argue for or against UBI, but to provide a balanced view of the potential implications. Like any complex issue, the pros and cons need to be carefully weighed and considered. What does the future hold for UBI? As we speak, universal basic income is making its way from theory to practice in various corners of the world. Cities from Stockton in the United States to Gyeonggi in South Korea are running pilot programs, testing the waters for this radical economic proposition. These experiments are providing valuable insights into the potential benefits and challenges of UBI, and fueling ongoing debates amongst economists, policymakers, and the public at large. Looking ahead, the potential impact of UBI on our future is vast and varied. In a world where automation is rapidly changing the labor market, UBI could provide a safety net for those displaced by technological advancements. It could foster an environment where creativity and entrepreneurship thrive, unburdened by the fear of financial insecurity. In the broader economic landscape, UBI could stimulate consumer spending, driving economic growth. It could also serve as a tool for reducing wealth inequality, a persistent issue that has only been exacerbated by the pandemic. On the societal front, UBI could redefine our relationship with work and leisure, challenging the traditional notion that one's worth is tied to their employment. It could promote a healthier work-life balance and potentially reduce stress and mental health issues associated with financial instability. Whether or not UBI becomes a reality, the conversations and experiments around it are pushing us to rethink our social contract and envision a future where economic security is guaranteed for all.